The subtitle that I debated with the publisher was 7 Proven Steps to Not Make Government Suck. They won, and we decided to go with Produce Great Results. But the reality is, and you will know in my soul, that the topic is about how to make government not suck. How to actually produce value for taxpayers, get employees invested in results, and actually provide a high-quality experience for customers. It's the topic of the conversation I want to take us through. So let me give you a little bit about me. I spent the first 20 years of my life on a small family farm in upstate New York, literally shoveling what cows produce and making sure that they have enough to eat as a result. And a lot of what I do today comes from those formative years of growing up on a farm in upstate New York. About a half a dozen years ago, I recognized you can actually have high sunshine and low taxes at the same time. And when I left doing what I was doing, moved to the glory of Tampa, Florida, which is where our business is now based, and we do work all around the world, working with government organizations that are struggling. When I graduated from college, I faced the opportunity to go home and work on the farm or do anything that produced revenue. And I am embarrassed to say, with all my years and working on the other side of media, I'd gone to college for broadcasting and spent the first 3 or 4 years of my career working in television news, telling people what was going on in the world, but realized quickly that the only thing that people in media do is talk about what someone else did. When it comes right down to it, they don't actually do anything. They just talk about what someone else did. So I went to work for a member of Congress, a guy by the name of Bill Paxton, whom you might remember, chaired the NRCC and was involved with the Contract with America. And it was a joy for me personally to be a part of those days in 1994 when the Republicans won the majority for the first time in 46 years, to be there when Speaker Gingrich actually took the gavel, obviously with his connections to GOPAC going back for many years. In our office, we were big GOPAC devotees, so I spent much of my time being a devotee to that space. You'll remember that my former boss, Bill Paxton, was actually married to a member of Congress, Susan Molinari, who gave the keynote at the Dole Convention in 1996. Having left my work there, I actually went to running a public agency. I'm going to tell you some stories about the principles in Saving America, the book, how they came from this troubled public agency in New York that was upside down, and how working for 8 years as CEO in that organization, coupled with the years of growing up on a farm, began to make the connections of how we can get government to actually produce results. Today, I do a lot of this. I do a lot of work with Fox News and Fox Business News and CNBC, talking about how we can get government to actually produce results. And as I said, we have a team that works all around the world now producing results. But the reality is, all of that stems back to, I think, particularly in government service, recognizing that we serve something greater than ourselves. And as a young kid, it was burned into me from a young age that every single day we had to get up and feed breakfast to the cows before we got to have breakfast. And at its cornerstone, that's arguably what government is for, right? Is to make sure we've got the ability to provide a high-quality experience to our customers and great value to taxpayers at the same time. As I remind folks, growing up on a farm, we didn't actually get to have Santa Claus come to our house until we had gone out and fed breakfast to the cows. And that's true. We would get up and have to go do barn chores before we got to celebrate Christmas and enjoy all that comes with that. The reason that I do what I do today comes down to 2 poll questions, which you will recognize from Gallup. The first question is, do you think that your children will have a brighter future than the one that you enjoy today? For the first time in our nation's history, the answer to that is no. Nearly 3/4 of Americans do not believe that their children will have a brighter future for them today. Who do they hold responsible? 2 consecutive years now in Gallup polling, the greatest problem facing America: terrorism, healthcare, air conditioners. That was funny, Senator Kerry's speech. None of those. The greatest problem that faces our nation today is government itself. People hold government responsible for the fact that their children are not going to have a brighter future than what they enjoy today. It's fearful that we have literally created through democracy this concept. And so I take us back, as I think coming out of the conversation we had today, particularly our lunchtime speaker, what is the core responsibility of government, right? What is it that we have to get right? And I would argue that it comes down to the basics of providing safety. It is the responsibility of government to make it safe. Safe to be able to move around the country, to visit friends and family, for commerce, to be able to go for medical visits or education. The responsibility for our streets to be safe, for our borders to be safe. Food and water to be safe. These are the core responsibilities of what government is charged with.